Oh my god, my niece has never had smoked brisket before. Ooh, Harper likes it. Don't you like it, Harper?
Yummy!
Hi everybody, it's Midnight Weekend.
Hi.
How's it going? We had smoked brisket for Chinese New Year.
It felt a little unexpected with the rest of our meals. So in order to complement it with the rest of our dishes, we actually used a lot of Asian ingredients. So for example, our rub was made out of tea leaves.
Tea leaves, smoked tea leaves.
Yeah, and then we put tamarind paste into the sauce and had orange peels going on. But the star of the smoked brisket was really this smoked tea.
And it was tea that we've never had before. Think of that.
Yeah, it was kind of cray-cray. It's not a type of tea that you drink on a regular basis. But first off, because we actually haven't tasted the tea before, we're gonna taste the tea. If you're new here, welcome.
Hi.
Thanks for stopping by and watching our channel. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more original recipes and snack reviews.
Stay tuned till the very end. We're gonna be putting some of these brisket chunks into a Taiwanese hamburger, aka guapao. Okay, so we're doing this in a little bit of a mixed order. We already ate the brisket and that was delicious, but now we're gonna try the tea that rubbed it. Lapsang Souchong. I'm probably butchering the name. How do you say it, Cheryl?
Lapsang Souchong.
Yeah, what she said. That sounds Cantonese, right?
It is Cantonese.
It is Cantonese. My bad. But in Mandarin, it's actually called 正山小种茶, right?
Holy crap, you sounded like a voiceover.
正山小种茶. We got this from Solstice Tea Traders.
This tea is a black tea derivative. The thing that makes it special is that it is smoked. So the moment that you open it, it kind of smells like bacon, which then you're like, ta-da, of course it makes sense for a barbecue.
Yeah. It's smoked with like pine wood or leaves?
Yes.
Oh my god, this is a really pungent smell.
Yeah.
It's almost like got a tang to it or something. You're almost smelling citrus.
It's kind of savory.
I can sniff it from here.
Yeah.
Now it's starting to smell a little more like tea and a little less like smoke. I'm starting to understand what it might taste like as a tea as opposed to a rub. Right,
it smells like a really intense like pu'er cha.
Yeah, like a tangy pu'er. Why do I keep using the word tangy? I just feel like it's gonna taste tangy. I'm gonna try it.
It's so nice.
Oh, this is nice.
I can smell it from here.
Oh, like burning flowers? A garden on fire.
Yeah, kind of.
That's great tea.
It is really good tea.
Yeah, now let's show the folks how to make that rub.
We found a black tea rub mix that we're going to try to replicate. The only thing is that we have a huge ass brisket. So we're actually going to quadruple all of the ingredients that are called for. As our main ingredient base, we have this Lapsang Souchong Tea. I've heard people say online that this tea most resembles coffee. So if you guys are familiar with like a coffee rub, I think this has a similar effect. Next up, we have black peppercorns and coriander. I actually got these little baggies from Turkey and we just never got around using it, but you know, now's the opportunity. Next up, we got some cloves. Cloves are amazing in the right proportions. Dried orange peels. And these are homemade dried orange peels to give it a nice citrusy aftertaste. Whole cinnamon, China's favorite spice. It's star anise. And if you guys haven't had star anise before, they taste and smell like licorice. So I would advise in just putting a minimal amount if you're not into that taste. I wanna grind this up first, but definitely going for a coarser feel. We wanna leave a little bit of texture for the brisket. Let's get to blitzen. You really have to just look out for it until it gets to about this consistency. This smells wonderful. Okay, the orange peels is really coming through and I also smell a little bit of cloves. So I'm really excited to put the other ingredients in and top it off. We have some nutmeg here. I just love using this grinder because it's a lot of fun. You can't beat the freshness. Brown sugar, 3 tablespoons. Pretty happy with that. The final step is just to jar it and get it ready for use. So what we have here is a USDA Prime brisket from Costco. It's
It's about 12 pounds. Here I'm slicing off the point meat fat. That's all unnecessary because there's a lot of fat running through this piece of the brisket. We're also gonna get rid of this hard fat. We don't need that. That's not even gonna render. It's not gonna make your brisket taste any juicier. Cut like a little tab and then just pull upwards. We're gonna trim off the corners and the sides just to give this meat a little bit of an aerodynamic shape. That'll help the smoke run around this piece of meat and not get stuck and char up little corners. You'll notice there's a big old chunk of hard fat between the point and flat meat. That's no good. You gotta get rid of that. We're gonna slice off this edge here, get it looking more appetizing. Nice red meat underneath there. You can clean off some of the surface fat. That's a good idea. That's pretty well cleaned up on the point there. I'm gonna leave a nice thin layer of fat down on the flat meat. That's, you know, there's not as much fat content in that piece. So we're gonna let that top layer sort of render itself. Now we're gonna inject the flat. We're gonna make a little beef broth bath brine. What's going in this injection? Paprika? I don't remember anymore.
Apple cider.
Apple cider. Just mix everything up. Yeah, you'll want to strain it. I forgot to do that, just in case your needle can't handle it. So we're gonna keep poking this flat meat, get a nice little pocket to inject all the broth into. We're gonna save a cup of this to make a red wine braise later on. We're gonna add some of this bone-sucking mustard. This is good stuff. In retrospect, I should have put a little less. Just because the brine we created and had all over the place was more than sufficient for a binder. I think the mustard was just for more flavor, but then that made a more moist and less crusted barbecue. I'm using a Plowboy's Barbecue Bovine Bold for the first rub. Sprinkle this on liberally. For the second layer of rub, we're adding a more coarse tea rub that Cheryl made. This is gonna make a nice crust for this brisket. I really like that you can see all the ingredients on here. Dried orange peel and smoked tea. And the Lapsang Souchong. I don't know how to say that in the English way, but there it is. So there's the tea, the Lapsang Souchong. That's English. There it is, getting it all over the place. Nice coverage here. It's all over, we got it, that's good. Now we're gonna put it back in the fridge, let it rest overnight. We're gonna smoke it, Cheryl, we're gonna smoke it.
The next morning.
Here we are. We're putting on, okay, this is a huge piece of meat, guys. What I'm gonna do here, instead of slice a piece off, is I'm just gonna fold it over itself. In retrospect, I probably should have just cut it off because it's really kind of like creating a bit of a temperature offset in terms of doneness throughout the meat. But if you were able to create more of a pocket, let the smoke really circulate throughout the entire surface of this brisket, then maybe you do this. That being said, it turned out okay. So the pellet grill I'm using is an A-Smoke portable pellet grill. It's got a pretty consistent burn and then goes up to 500 degrees. I've used it a few times to smoke and reverse sear steaks. It's pretty good. It's also pretty safe to leave unattended for short periods of time, which is a huge plus. We're doing 5 hours like this at 250. Every 30 minutes I'm checking in on it. I'm spraying it with a little apple cider vinegar. That keeps it nice and moist. I keep a little Pyrex bowl in there with some water to keep it moist and hydrated. It's gonna fluctuate here and there. Every time it goes under, it's gonna burn a few more pellets. I'm using a gourmet blend of pellets, which includes this, that, and the other thing. So it's been about 5 hours. This brisket's been soaking up smoke the whole time. It's right where we want it when we're ready to wrap. Dexter knife. Before we wrap it up, we're gonna make a base of vegetables. We're gonna put it in a little pot and then we're gonna foil it up. Here we're adding some potatoes, onion quarters, carrots, shiitake mushrooms, and kabocha. Kabocha is Japanese pumpkin, and that should be a tasty combination of veggies and carbs. Now remember that 1 cup we saved? We're gonna braise these vegetables and add some red wine to it. That's gonna be the base of the braise. I'll put it on the screen here for you. This is gonna make a yummy jus, and we can dip our brisket in it. Yum! Oh my god, it barely fits. Now we're gonna turn up the temp to 300, let it ride. I think I did about 2 hours around here, getting the internal temperature of the meat to about 200. If you really have time on your hands, you should bring it up to 210. I think we're gonna call this good. Don't forget to let the brisket rest for about 30 minutes. You wanna let that juice redistribute throughout the entire cut. Check out that smoke ring. Woo! Oh my God, my niece has never had smoked brisket before. Ooh, Harper likes it. Don't you like it, Harper?
Yummy!
Instead of a traditional barbecue sauce, we made an Asian-inspired reduction sauce made from orange juice, Korean citron tea, the Asian tea rub that Cheryl made, tamarind paste, apple cider vinegar, and some rooster spice.
The next morning,
We took the leftover brisket, we chopped it into halves, took the rest of the leftover sauce and put it on the brisket and then toasted it in our toaster oven. Broccoli slaw, added some cilantro, crushed peanuts, and to top it all off, we put some hoisin sauce on there.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Let's try one. Woohoo. Cheers, can't wait.
Yay.
Cheers. Mmm.
Mmm.
Good.
Yeah, the guapao bun is like nice and fluffy. The peanuts give it a nice texture, like crunchy. And then the hoisin sauce just makes it a little bit sweeter.
It totally changes up the profile. We actually used the point meat for this guapao. It's a better brisket portion to put in your guapao because there's a little more fat content.
But that meat was like so melt in your mouth and tasty. So many different like flavors coming in from the rub and the sauce.
So that's it, guys. We had a delicious meal. We'll leave the recipe down below for what we actually did. You guys can make it on your own. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys.
And hit that notification bell.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya!